Hello everybody and welcome back to Surviving Mars. Now last episode we finally began with the terraforming process. Now the terraforming process, however, as we can see, requires quite a bit of energy, so we don't have that much energy. I've already built now 4 additional wind turbines, and of course, as we can see, it can't continue like this. So we do need to find a way to produce way more energy, and I found one, I think at least, and that is down here. We have now the fusion reactor, the nuclear fusion. And this is the research that I'm going to go with the next step then right away. And this one will then provide us with the fusion reactor that produces hopefully a lot of energy. It definitely should, according to my calculations, my secret ones. Another thing that we need is over here, the landing pads. Some of you have complained, of course, that the landing pads are a bit too close to the domes, and I totally agree. What if there's a drunken pilot or a drunken computer system that crashes into my domes? I cannot allow that. So we're going to have these landing pads now on the other side. So we're going to have them just over here in this little area there where we are still close to the depots. So let's build 2 of them again, opposite each other, hopefully. And there we have them then just on the other side. And those guys here, well, I'm going to get rid of them once I can afford it. Oh, only cost 8 concrete, so that's really not much. Another thing that we might think about is the trade pad. So this one offers resource for export or to other colonies on Mars. Rival colonies will send trade offers only if import and export resources are set. Accessible only for rockets belonging to other colonies. So with this trade post here, other rockets can then launch and take off from my little colony. And I think we might actually keep it then here. You know, this one goes away now. So this is a bit too close, I totally agree. This one goes away as well because I want to actually rotate it a bit to the other side. And another thing, while I'm actually planning them, look at that.
Research complete.
Look at the first green spots here on Mars. The first greens on the surface. Look at that. It's appearing everywhere now. The lichens that I'm just planting right now. That is quick. We're only at 0.03%, obviously. But in that case, the first green spots appear. Isn't that awesome? I mean, I really like that. Nice one. As you can see, all of them. Oh, that is something I don't like. It's on my circles. I love my circles. I think the circles will disappear once we have everything greened out in this area. Now we have the landing pads. Another thing is the trade pad. That one we can then have in this area, right? It's still far away from the domes and it's close to my central depot, so just where we want to have it. Now I've also finished now the refineries and factory upgrades. This one increases my power production by 25%, but also increases the power consumption. Oh no, it's a production for the refineries and the factories, right? It's an amplification. Sorry for that. So it is, here we have another amplification then. But I'm pretty full on the fuel right now, so no problem there. Another thing, over on these cliffs here, on this mountain there, I do have my ramp. So my drones are working tirelessly right now, as we can see. And they are, well, building us a ramp here, hopefully, that is working out. So this was the only shape that was working out, nothing else worked, and it's taking still a bit of time. Hopefully we can fix it then at some point. Now since the first green patches appear, let's just have a look at the map itself. Do we have some green patches on Mars itself yet? Nope. Right, that would be a bit too early, but as we can see, the terraforming process now started, and once we have more energy we can focus way more on that. Another thing, Avril 1 has arrived once again. And then we now have the trade pad as well. So the trade pad, we can now choose an export resource, something that we've plenty of. For example, we have plenty of concrete, though I think concrete is something that everyone basically has plenty of. But let's just offer concrete to the world or to Mars and import. Oh, a colonist is departing. This one here, a botanist, is earthsick because the service building was full. Is it? No, it's actually not a bad traits here. Why did she leave now? Or he? Animal cruelty. Oh, he's a vegan. And he worked at the farm. At the ranch. Of course, that shouldn't be the case. We only have no specialization people here, as it should be. But he was very frustrated by that. Plus, the service building is full. Alright, sorry for that. Not my intention. Now the rocket also delivers more seed, more machine parts, and more electronics to my planet as well, to my base, because we need the seeds for the reforestation program. Another thing that I want to do is a new factory, since we can afford that, is the machine parts factory, right? Because this consumes the metal, and we have plenty of metal, and we can just have this one then in this factory dome, where I definitely want to have that. Now in this dome we have the people, they're being trained still, so we have already now graduated 5 scientists at the university. That's pretty cool. And what we can see is that now my research labs here, yeah, they're pretty well staffed. We have now 2.2k research per day, so the fusion reactor right now is at 50%, and the Martian University, let's switch it to something else. Food wise we're fine, engineers we need quite a lot though, so let's train some engineers. Right, so they're being trained now for engineers, the no specialization people. And those guys here, they're usually born on Mars. You know, I've imported, of course, some of them, but most of them by now will be born here, and they will then just try to work. Now here, as we can see, is the engineers. So we say workforce and force the specialists. They can then work in the machine parts factory. I offer 2 shifts, and once they're graduated from university, they should then start here at the machine parts factory, where we want that, because we want to have a steady supply of those resources. Look at the rocket, I really love the look of it, especially with the heat shield. Beautiful details. I think it's full, right? It's got lots of exports that are on board, and I think for some projects, I don't think we have any really useful projects at the moment that we could use. Research progress with 3 domes. Actually, let's do that. Getting a bit of research progress is always a nice thing. Now the nuclear fusion is almost finished. We should think about something new. Since power-wise we should be fine with the fusion, I'm also going with the transport optimization, which is a really small research up here that should give us then another tech down here, because we don't really have that many interesting techs. The shuttle hub is pretty useful then later once we have a more spread out base, but so far what I want to go with is this one. That is the unlocks the import greenhouse gases and capture ice asteroids. So this is an expedition my rockets can do, and they import then water and atmosphere gases primarily, and that's 5% for each expedition, so that's pretty useful. This speeds up then our atmosphere and water production quite a lot. The other thing is that we have here is the unlocks the creation of artificial lakes. We need that because evaporating water improves local soil quality and water of Mars, right? So this one then opens up that we have a constant water supply. And once we have solved the energy problem, we can then spam these GHG factories on the one side. On the other hand, we would then also want to have the waste rock factory that is, well, polluting that, or well, emitting that. And those are the things that we want primarily. The thing that we have right now is that we don't have enough workers. So in the machine parts factory we actually got a few now working. Here in the farm we don't. So that is very important. Now, well, food we have plenty of actually. I'm not that concerned yet with the food. And the seeds we should have plenty of as well. So far it's working, and as we can see, yes, it's growing. That is so amazing. Let's just have a look to my ramp. Still taking a bit of time. Yep. Oh, and we have analyzed an anomaly for 4,000 science points. Beautiful. I think we have another one. Yeah. Let's send my explorer to this anomaly. Where's my explorer anyway? Oh, yeah. Where the anomaly was, I think. So this one, that's pretty cool. That is a lot of research, and thus we have finally finished the research for our fusion reactors. Let's just have a look at that. Here we have it, and look at the fusion reactor. Base production is 200 electricity. It cost me some polymer and some electronics, and it needs actually 24 workers. That is a lot though. And it needs to be placed nearby 2 domes. Right, so there are a lot of negative points to the fusion reactor, I think, but yeah, especially the workforce. That is insane. I don't think I will house so many people, or will be able to house that many people. So we will need for the fusion reactor a new dome. Absolutely. And all of a sudden something appears here, and that is, I have no idea what, an unknown black previously undetected cube-shaped object that just appeared outside one of my domes. It's looking certainly pretty interesting. Let's send one of my explorers to that. Oh, my explorer, I don't have any others. And this, yeah, it was just found. Mystery log, hit mystery event. Sol 50, a peculiar black cube matrix has appeared near the colony. We should send an explorer to investigate. Okay, hopefully there's not coming anything out of it.
A routine scan of the perimeter has detected an unidentified object within immediate proximity of the colony. Data logs confirm it. It isn't a glitch.
And the mysterious object appears to consist of pitch black cubes arranged in a matrix. The cubes seemingly levitate above the ground without the aid of any support structure. Okay, let's have a look what that is. And the explorer has arrived. Ready to scan this anomaly here. Going to take a bit of time. Sleeper Joe is also happening. Today we learned that an upstanding member of our community has been a spy since the day they arrived on Mars. While Mikkel Bergstrom was not employed by a rival colony, they did send all info stolen to a third-party intelligence gathering firm on Earth, which in turn most probably sold the information to anyone interested. A legal process on Earth will likely win us reparations from rivals who took advantage of the firm's service, but with Mikkel Bergstrom being a respected and senior colonist of ours, this can have devastating effects on our colonists' morale. He's a spy though. Minus 35 morale for all colonists. Oh, that is a huge drop though. Yeah, then let's limit the access. We would get only 1 million out of it, or 1 billion. And in that case, let's just keep him then. I think it's a bit too... yeah, risky. He's a senior, so I cannot put him to work in one of my grocers. He's going to just stay outside here in the apartment. Alright, we have scanned the anomaly. It's still here.
On-site analysis of the unidentified structure only deepens the mystery. The evidence suggests that the cubes are clearly not a natural phenomenon.
Okay, the insides of the cube as well as the physical forces behind the levitation remain an enigma. Individual cubes as well as their combined structure retain a perfect symmetry, and any attempts to physically disturb their positions have failed. What is even more puzzling is the analysis of the photonic spectroscopy of the cubes. They seem to emanate radiation of an unknown wavelength, which excites the separation of, or exits the separation of electrons inside of the spectroscopic lens. While our science team refuses to jump to any conclusions, the chief engineer suggests that we should study the effect. New research is now available. Alright, let's find out about that. There we have it. A dark spectrometry, a surface scratcher, step towards understanding the material. It's only 1,000 research points, so it should be really quick. I really want to finish the lake before that though, and the low G engineering, which will give us the medium-sized domes. Because I'm waiting for the medium-sized domes so that we can start building them here then. Even the largest dome then we probably will have down on this side. Also hoping that we have any bonuses close by like this one, which gives a nice comfort boost, and there we should have another one as well. Oh well, at least we have the underground metal here. Right, Sol 51 primary analysis of the black cube revealed no conclusive answer, so we are researching that. So that is an event that is happening now in the background all the time, that we can advance, and that's pretty cool, I think. So these are small storylines, and there are quite a lot of them in this game. A bit later, the lake has been finally researched, so that we have now the lake building, or well, lake structure, that we can then put out here. So we have the small lake, for example, we have the medium lake, the large lake, the huge lake, which is that size here. The thing with those lakes is they consume a lot of water in the beginning, so while they're being refilled, you know, it takes up to 3 water of consumption for medium lake, for example, and then once it's full, it only takes half of that anymore, or even only 1/3 of it. So in the beginning, we are going to use quite a lot of water to fill one of these lakes, and for that we will use the water tower. So we do have quite a lot of water is stored here, so 200 water right now. I want to increase that though a bit, right? So I want to have a few additional water tanks, so just in case if anything else happens then, that we have enough water prepared for these lakes then, because water is going to be drained quite a lot, and we do need, well, a few lakes here and there. That's important. Another thing is about space. As we can see, we don't have so much space here, and we still need quite a lot of domes. I want to start with the fusion reaction soon, and for that I will need this space here, this area, and this area, because here we do have the rare metals. We need that. I don't think that this one will last that much longer. And over here we do have a research site, research boost by 20%. So I want to have huge domes here, because in these domes I can have then research institutes, and all of them again getting boosted then by one of these sites here. Pretty important. And as we can see when I look at the dome, we only have the basic dome right now, or the barrel dome. The barrel dome is pretty cool, right, that, but it's still very small and limited, right? And the mega dome is actually my wanted dome in that regard, but it's just way too expensive at this point, so we're going with a medium dome somewhere here. And of course we should never forget projects or expeditions that are getting more important now, so we are not going to send the rockets back to Earth that often anymore, especially, well, for these expeditions. The only matter would be that we would get more or need more colonists than like with the large dome that we can build. Right now what we can see is that we got a few new projects, especially here the capture ice asteroids. This one here doesn't cost that much, and it would give us 5% of water into onto the planet, you know. So I would rather start with the lake before we go with that. The other thing is here the greenhouse gases. So this only really needs 30 fuel and $600 million, and would give us some atmosphere and temperature. And the goal is then to have 2 to 3 rockets working on that only all the time to speed up the terraforming even more. For now, what I want to do though is find something that perhaps gives us a nice boost to research, because we need a lot of research at the moment. There we have it, research progress, for example, right? And we can send Ariane 1 on that. It just needs 10 people on that, and then we can research that. We are already at 45% for the low G engineering, so hopefully 10 colonists are coming. I don't know, do I have to assign them? I hope not. Right now it's being refueled for the expedition, but it doesn't seem like there is any... Oh, it's still being unloaded as well, because I had some electronics on board. And I just love how the drones are doing their job. Right, so electronics are off now, and refueling is full now too. Oh! It's just starting like that. Alright, yeah, okay. There are 10 colonists on board. I didn't see them enter though. Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyway, that is happening. That would be this one, now that we have the event that is also being researched. Now let's have a look what else we have. For example, what I can see is, yeah, we are out of scanning in this area, right? So we are already scanning here now the hillsides. So we want to activate deep scan, and that is another research that we need to do prior to that. And there we have it, deep scanning in the physics tree, and this one then allows us to deep scan for deep deposits. Now that is quite important, because those deposits that we see right now, they're only small deposits, so they're empty quite quickly, and we want to go with the deep deposits that give us then, well, close to infinite resources. And then once we have unlocked the deep scan, we need to scan all of that area here once again. But well, that's okay, because I'm not interested about the other areas up here. Over here though, yeah, we might actually send a rocket to this space here with an explorer soon to research all of that. Speaking of which, of the platform here, I've abandoned the ramp project, because it would give me 4,000 waste rocks to build the ramp. And look at that, one large dumping site has around 280 waste rocks, so I would need to spam the whole area here with waste rocks just for this ramp. So I'd rather wait for my shuttle program, and once I have my shuttles then working, my drone shuttles, they will then just automatically fly up there and do their thing. As we can see, the green area is getting larger on several sites now, and that is only because I have 2 forestation plants. I don't have more than that. So it's a pretty nice progress that we have out of this, and well, we have to wait until we have 10% water and 20% temperature, and then we can go with the grass. Now grass will look then much better than lichen, as we can see. Lichen is really just moss, nothing else here. The grass will then look more beautiful already, and is only another step on the way to trees and bushes. Alright, and the project has been solved once again, so we have 4,000, we gained 4,000 research out of that. That finishes 2 researches right away. Also our dark spectrometry, so let's have a look. Solace in science.
We've applied the scientific method in every possible way, to no avail. Time to try something else.
Alright, in a moment of brilliance or possibly desperation, one of the physicists proposed they should try to crack open the structure. The scientists moved the cube's matrix inside a non-baryonic shell and proceeded to bombard a single cube with high energy ions, a process known as sputtering. The results were immediate. The shell of the cube gave in, resulting in its rapid decomposition. The matrix itself reacted to the influence by rearranging itself into a solid structure made of the remaining cubes. Huh. Okay, so we really haven't solved it yet. And it's still here. So we still have 27 of these black cubes now. But, and that's a huge but, we finally have unlocked now still the medium dome. There we have it, right? So it has a bit more space, and I think having 2 of that on this side might prove useful, close to our research boost here. The only thing that we need is my transporter that needs to get rid of those rubbles here. Otherwise I cannot do anything here. Then we're going to have 2 medium here with a lake, most likely. Lakes look nice. And then we are saving up for the large dome that we can place then on this area. That's going to be important. So over here we can then have our fusion reactor and stuff like that. There's another research boost. So we might just have a small dome here that just houses some, well, scientists. And we do need another drone hub for this area now though, because we're going to build the domes here. Right in the middle, is that a good idea? Let's build it right here. Right, because then we can have the domes. Let's have a look at that. The medium dome here. And another one here. Right, and this one takes, yeah, the research side into account. Both of them. Very good. Very important. Then we have some more domes here and here later then. The same thing now with the water. Since we do have a bit of water and we have quite a lot of water stored, we can also start with the first lake. And yeah, let's have a medium lake. Right, so the medium lake, we would have this one then in that area between the domes. So I'm going to plant the domes. And yes, this way it does have the research boost. That is one, and another dome then on this side. This one has actually the research point up here. That's even better. Right, so 2 of them, 2 of the big domes that we have, and just in front of it we might just then have a lake. Right, at the moment we still have that rubble here blocking it, but my transporter is already doing a good job at that. There we have the drone hub. The drone hub only needs now a bit of power then, but power is something that we get from the dome anyway. So we can have a power cable to that spot there. The only thing that's missing here then is water. And for that I'm going to use the power cable lines that we already have, right? Because here we have a water production. But what I can see is that this is not connected to my global water production. Oh, this is going to be quite big, this thing. Or we connect it from here. Probably better, right?
The mystery of the black cubes has consumed our colonists completely. The reactions are as numerous as they are varied.
Alright, the colonists have divided into factions centered around a certain hypothesis about the nature and purpose of the mysterious artifacts. The excitement about the cubes is evident from the schedules of the weekly hearings in the colony, and the trivial themes such as the quality of food and the request for additional scientific funding had completely disappeared, replaced by requests for publicity for each faction's viewpoint. Alright, so they want to use my black cubes here as, yeah, decorative buildings. A gift or a Trojan horse, I wonder. We'll see about that. Oh, the rocket with the expedition has returned. And yes, what I will probably do is I'm going to have the pipes going all the way around it. You know, of course this would be more efficient, but in that case I want to connect this loop here as well with my major power water production. Otherwise I will always have the problem of 2 separate water loops, and that is not a good idea. Plus it doesn't really cost us anything in the age of automated engineering. As we can see, a beautiful huge pipe system going then up to this point. So here we can have more water moisturizers or something like that, and then we continue with the pipes just on this power line that we already have, so it doesn't take up any more space.
Crop failure reported.
And this goes then to the domes up north. Crop failure. No edible food has been harvested by what? By this farm, because we only have one botanist in store. Doesn't matter so far. We are totally capped on food anyway with 233 food. The rocket has returned, and with that, lots of scientists, or colonists. And in that case, let's have a look again. Do we have any other research that we could make? Speeding up some of the additional resources that we already have. Capture meteors. Nope, I don't want to do that. Nope, so we do have the terraforming. That would be available to us. And I think we can actually go with that, right? We do have the fuel, we do have the machine parts. Let's send Ariane 1 onto that expedition to import a bit of water. The transporter has finally gotten rid of the rocks. Let's unload that then, one of my storages. And just in front of it, we can then also have our first lake. The lake though, however, as we can see, needs then some pipes, right? So in that case, having the lake on this side will prove useful, because here we have the drone commander already. This one is then being connected with my power cables. And it also will need power, I guess, plus then the pipes. Right, and here the pipes are being finished now, or they are actually finished already. Here they're still being finished, going then up to this dome. Now the dome is already being now loaded, kind of like with the resources that we'll need. There we have still the drone hub. Of course, the lake also needs to be constructed first before we can fill it with water. It's all going to take quite some time, and once that is finished, we'll continue here. Stay tuned.